Welcome to another deep dive, and this one was really cool. I think it's going to be pretty inspiring for a lot of people. We're going to be diving into the story of Dr. Joel Brown. He's a doctor who uses music in his practice and kind of found his superpower through music, which is pretty fascinating. So we're going to be looking at excerpts from his website and social media. I think you'll find it pretty cool, especially if you've ever felt like, maybe you've got this creative side that doesn't quite fit into your professional life.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting about Dr. Brown's story is that he really challenges this idea that medicine and music are totally separate. He actually shows how they can work together.
Yeah, and he had this pivotal moment back in 2006. So he was in med school, performing in a talent show with some friends, and it kind of hit him like, wow, music is not just a hobby for me. This is a really fundamental part of who I am.
And it makes you wonder, how do you balance that passion for music with something as demanding as medical training? And Dr. Brown actually talks about how initially he saw music as this potential distraction, like it was going to pull him away from his medical path. And I think a lot of us can probably relate to that, trying to balance the things we're passionate about with our work lives.
For sure, and he even talks about how the medical system itself can kind of discourage creativity in a way. Like there's so much emphasis on efficiency that it's almost like doctors are expected to be these hyper-focused machines. And so Dr. Brown found that his musical background actually made him a better doctor.
Yeah, it's interesting how he talks about music as a diagnostic tool almost. He says that listening to music really made him more sensitive to picking up on emotional cues, and that actually helped him in his practice. Imagine being able to better understand your patient's anxieties just by being a better listener. It makes you wonder, is that a skill we could all develop?
Absolutely, and he even tells this really powerful story about using music to connect with a patient who is in palliative care. He's saying "End of the Road" by Boyce II Men to this patient, and it just really shows how music can provide this deep sense of comfort and connection, especially during really tough times.
It's it goes beyond just fulfilling a request. It's really about human connection and providing solace through music. Makes you think about how we could incorporate more creative approaches into care.
And that kind of leads into his whole concept of the Supadoc, which is this idea of embracing your creativity as a source of power and fulfillment in medicine. It's unleash that hidden potential within yourself.
I love that term, Supadoc. It really captures this idea that our creative sides can make us more well-rounded in our work and also just more effective too.
And you might be thinking, this is just like a hobby for Dr. Brown. But when you look at his background, he's achieved such a high level of expertise in medicine. This isn't just someone who's, dabbling in something for personal fulfillment. This is someone who's deeply knowledgeable and experienced and is finding a way to integrate his passions, to enhance his work.
Yeah, he has a very impressive list of qualifications. And what's really cool is that his work goes beyond just seeing patients. He's involved in global health initiatives, digital health, really applying that creative thinking to larger healthcare challenges. So he's looking at the big picture and trying to figure out how to
improve healthcare for everyone.
Exactly. And he even invites people to connect with him, to share ideas. And that really speaks volumes about how passionate he is about fostering creativity in others. It's not just about him. It's about empowering others to find their own Supadoc within themselves.
And it's interesting how he uses that word superpower when he's talking about creativity in medicine. It's reframing how we think about creativity, not just a nice bonus, but a valuable asset.
Yeah,
it really makes you think how many people are out there with these untapped superpowers just waiting to be discovered?
Imagine if we encouraged more doctors to embrace their creativity. Maybe we'd see more empathetic care, more personalized care, maybe even new approaches to treatment and prevention.
He even talks about how creativity can lead to new income streams for doctors. It's really recognizing the value of creativity, not just in the arts, but in problem solving, thinking outside the box, connecting with people. Skills that can apply to any profession, really.
Absolutely. It's about moving beyond just the technical stuff and bringing in that human element. And what I find really inspiring is that Dr. Brown, he's not just talking about it, he's actually inviting people to connect with him and share ideas.
Yeah, it's so refreshing to see someone achieve so much in their field, also be so passionate about helping others. So going back to that question we asked earlier, what's your hidden superpower? Maybe it's something obvious like playing an instrument or painting. Or maybe it's something totally different.
Think about what energizes you, what makes you feel alive and engaged. Maybe it's writing, cooking, building things. even organizing. It's about recognizing those things and thinking about how you can bring them into your life.
Yeah, maybe you start a blog, join a community theater group, or just spend more time in nature, letting your mind wander.
There's a lot of talk these days about finding your purpose. And I think Dr. Brown's story is a great example of how creativity can be part of that journey.
It's about figuring out what you're passionate about and giving yourself permission to explore it. Without judgment, you might discover a whole new side of yourself, just like Dr. Brown.
What's really compelling about his story is that it challenges what it means to be a doctor. He's not just a doctor, he's an artist, a musician, a thought leader.
He's showing us that you don't have to choose between your passions and your profession. You can find a way to integrate them.
And it's not just about personal fulfillment. This kind of thinking can lead to real innovation in healthcare and other fields.
It's about bringing your whole self to the table, and that's something we could all benefit from.
Absolutely. And as Dr. Brown says, medicine is more than science, it's art. And I think that applies to life in general.
Beautiful thought. When we come back, we'll leave you with some parting thoughts and resources to help you explore your own superpowers. Stay with us. And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into Dr. Joel Brown's world and his concept of the SuperDoc.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Before we wrap up, I wanted to touch on something that really stood out to me. Dr. Brown mentions that his work extends beyond just the clinic into things like global health initiatives, digital health. It seems like he's taking those creative problem-solving skills and applying them to these larger healthcare challenges.
That's a great point. It's not just about creativity in the doctor-patient relationship, but also about creativity on a systemic level. Like, how can we improve healthcare systems as a whole, especially when it comes to things like health inequities and technology?
Exactly. It really speaks to his vision. He's not content with just being a great doctor. He wants to make a difference on a global scale.
It's like he's asking, how can we use creativity to make healthcare better for everyone?
And that's a powerful message.
Definitely. It ties into this idea that creativity can be a force for positive change.
So, as we close out this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. Dr. Brown's story is a reminder that we all have these unique gifts, these talents that we can bring to the world.
And those gifts don't have to fit into these neat little boxes. It's about finding what makes you unique, what sets your soul on fire, and finding a way to weave that into your life.
Absolutely. So I encourage you to think about your own hidden superpowers. What are you truly passionate about? What makes you feel most alive?
And how can you share that with the world? It doesn't have to be this huge, dramatic thing. Just start small. Explore your interests. Be curious. Step outside your comfort zone a little.
You might surprise yourself with what you're capable of.
And you might even inspire someone else along the way.
And that's the beauty of it.
Creativity is contagious. When we embrace our own potential, we encourage others to do the same.
So on that note, we'll leave you to continue exploring your own path. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, keep creating and keep unleashing those SuperDoc powers.